Welcome to my channel. In this video, I would like to teach you about a Hamming code. What exactly this Hamming code is all about? Why do we need this? Hamming code is basically an error correction method. So before we see how an error correction can be done using Hamming code, what is an Hamming code and how do we generate an Hamming code? In this video, I would like to teach you how you can generate an Hamming code. So first, what is an Hamming code? An Hamming code is basically a error correction code, which is specially used in reliable transmission or reliable communication. So the very important thing is this was named after its inventor or Hamming. Hamming is the person who invented this Hamming code method. Now I shall show you how you can generate this Hamming code. Let me consider a message m equals to 1101. So this is a message which I would like to transmit where you have 4 bits. There are 4 bits which are available in the message. Now I would like to generate an Hamming code for a reliable communication. Now how would I generate the Hamming code? To generate an Hamming code, basically Hamming codes have p parity bits. Hamming code basically has p parity bits. Now, how do I find out this p parity bits? So to calculate this p parity bits, so I can consider, say, let your message is C. I mean, the Hamming code is C, whatever the code which I have to generate, in which I have to transmit. So an Hamming code is a combination of your message and the parity bits. We know that we have already got the message here, which is of 4 bits. Now, along with this 4 bits, I would like to add the parity bits. Now, we have to find out how many number of parity bits should be added to my message for a reliable transmission. So now it's time to calculate the value of P. How do we calculate the value of P? So P is nothing but the number of parity bits. So to calculate the number of parity bits, so we have a formula given by 2 power 2 power p, it's a power of p, 2 power p is equals to, or it should be greater than or equals to m plus p plus 1. So a parity can be calculated using the formula. It is 2 to the power of p should be greater than or equals to m plus p plus 1. Now what I try to do is, I will try to make use of a trial and error method by substituting the value of p as 1 on both the sides and see that, make sure that 2 to the power of p should be greater than or it should be equal to m plus p plus 1. Now let us consider, let p value equals to 1 and let me substitute this p value on both the sides. So when I substitute on both the sides, so this becomes 2 power 1 is greater than or equals to, we already know that the value of your m is 4 bits. The number of bits in the message that what we have is 4 and the value of p is 1 plus 1. So now 2 power, we already know that the 2 to the power of 1 is 2 itself, should be greater than or equals to 4 plus 2 is 6, 4 plus 1 is 6. So now this is false. So your p value could not become 1. Very similar to that, let us also try with, let this time the value of your p is equals to 2. So once we have, let me substitute in the given formula, let me substitute it, it becomes 2 power 2 should be greater than or equals to, the value of your m is 4 plus this time the value of p is 2 plus 1. So now we know that 2 power 2 is 4, 4 is greater than or equals to, so 4 plus 2 is 6, 6 plus 1 is 7. So again, this is false. So p value cannot become 2. So now we will let us try with the p value as 3, p equals to 3. So let p equals to 3. Now 2 power 3 is greater than or equals to The M value is 4, and the P value that what we have considered is 3 plus 1. Now we know that 2 power 3 is 8. 8 is greater than or equals to 4 plus 3 is 7. 7 plus 1 is 8. Yes, this is true. Since your LHS and RHS values are very similar, I mean they are equal. Now the value of P equals to 3. Now we have got the parity bits. That means your message equals to 4 and the number of parity where your Hamming code can have is 3, and that can be calculated using 2 power P is should be greater than or equals to M plus P plus 1. So an Hamming code during the transmission, you're going to generate an Hamming code where you see the code that what you're going to generate using Hamming code is M plus P, where your C value is equals to 7. That means you're going to generate a 7-bit of a Hamming code containing both message as well as the parity bit. So now, how would I add these 3 parity bits into my given message? That's what I have to look into. Now let us see that. We know that the given message is available here. Okay. Now what we try to do is we position the parity bits in a particular code and assign the values of those parity bits. How do we do that? So this is where I'm going to make use of a powers of 2 equations here. Now what I do is I'll just write a simple table for this. So where this particular table has ones and twos here. I mean, how many bits we have? We have all together, we have 7 bits. So let me just put a box of 7 bits that can store my data. How it is 7 bits? The 7 bits is your C equals to M plus P. That is the message, the number of bits in the message and the number of parity bits that you are going to add. So I'm just going to add 7 bits and 7 blocks here. So this is the 4, 5, 6 and 7. Now what I do is I'm going to write the bit location here. Let me consider this as a bit location, and this will be a bit location. So as we know that the bit location can be started with the 1 here. I mean from MSB to LSB, I'm going to make it as 1, and the bit position for this is 2. The bit position for this is 3. The bit position is 4, 5, 6 and 7. So we have the bit positions. Okay. Now we know that your M is the given message is 1101, and we have calculated your P as 3. We have got this P as 3. Now what am I going to do is I'm going to first find out the powers of 2 here, right? So to find the powers of 2 by using your bit location, so this is the power of 2. That means 1 can be represented as 1 can be represented as 2 power 0, 2 power 0. So 2 power 0 is 1. Again, this can be represented as 2 power 1. 2 power 1 is 2. Now, 3 cannot be represented in terms of powers of 2, but 4 can be represented in terms of powers of 2. So now this can be written as 2 power 2. 2 power 2. 5 cannot be represented as your 2 powers, and 6 cannot be represented using 2 powers 2, and 7 cannot be represented using 2 powers 2. So why we use this 2 powers? These 2 powers of 2, I mean the powers of 2 represents your parity bit. Why the reason why I have taken this bit location is to identify the powers of 2, where this powers of 2 will give you the position of the parity bits in the code. That means, so now this is your P1, this value is your P1, and this is your P2, and here this is considered as your P4 because it's position. So whatever that I have written is, see, P1 is here, P2 is here, and this is your P4. And 3, 5, 6, 7 represents your message. See, whatever the message that we have here, 1101. So now this represents the message. So this is your M3 and this is M4. This is M5 and this is, sorry, I mean, so this is your, this should be your M5. This should be your M6 and this should be your M5. Okay. What is this M5? See, P1, P2, P4 represents the position of your parity bits in the code, and M3, M5, M6, M7 represents the message bits in the code. That means we have given a bit designation. So P1, P2, M3, P4, M5, M6, M7 are the bit designation. Bit designation. So this is your bit designation. So what I have done, I have considered the bit location. We have 7 bits altogether because M is 4 bits and the parity bit what we have calculated is 3. So total Hamming code should generate a 7 bits. So I have just taken a 7 bit location here. And based on the location, what I have done, I have took the powers of 2. So 1 can be written as 2 power 0, 2 can be written as 2 power 1 and 4 can be written as 2 power 2. And these powers of 2 represents the parity bits position and remaining will represent the position of your message, that is 1101. So to add on to this, what am I going to do is I'm going to add the messages here. So that means, so let me just try this out. So I'm going to add the messages here. Now we know what is the value of my M7, M6 and all those things. So we'll be adding that messages here. So this is your P2 and finally we have so what we have is the location for your P1. Now we know that from LSB what we do is we have 1101. So this is the location of your 1. I mean from LSB I'm just taking this 1 and this is the location of your 0. This is the bit position of your 1 and this is the bit position of your 1. See 1101. So that is what the message M represents the message. And now what are we supposed to calculate? We have to calculate what is the value of your P4, what is the value of your P2 and what is the value of the P1. This is very, very important. Now I have to find out what could be the value of your P1, P2 and P4. So when I find out P1, P2 and P4, that is going to give you the entire Hamming code. And for this, what are we going to do is I'm going to convert your bit location in terms of a represent this in terms of a binary numbers. How do I do that? So what am I going to do is I'm going to represent all these in terms of a binary numbers. So for that, 1 is represented as 001 in terms of binary and 2 is represented as 010. 3 is represented as 011. 4 is represented as 100. 5 is represented as 101. 6 is represented as 110 and 7 is represented as 111. So I have converted the bit location in terms of a binary numbers here. Now it's time to calculate your P1. How do I calculate the P1? See, when I say, so what I can do is P1 is the location. That means where it exists at the bit location 1. That means take this binary number and identify the LSB. Take your LSB because 1 represents the first position. First position is your LSB. In LSB, which among the bits, I mean, which among these bit location do have the value 1? So you can notice that here you have in the bit location 1, you have 1 here. That is the first position. Find out find out 1 in the LSB in the first position. In the first position, so here this is where you have 1, and here this is where you have 1, and here this is where you have 1, and here this is where you have 1. So identify that. So what is its bit location? Which is, so where do we have this 1? We have this 1 in the position 1. We have this LSB as 1 in bit number 3. Bit number 3, you can notice that at LSB you should have the bit value 1. And 4 you do not have. 5, yes, you do have here. So 5 you have a bit location, and 6 you do not have a bit location as 1, and in 7 you have a bit location 1. So 1, 3, 5, 7. So let us do the same operation even with respect to P2, but P2, that means you have to consider the second bit. For P1, consider the first bit from LSB. For P2, consider the second bit from LSB, right? So for P2, so this doesn't has a second bit as 1, and here you have a second bit as 1, so that is 2, comma, and here in the value 3 you have a bit position. So 3 has a bit value as 1 here. 4 in the second position, it does not have the bit value as 1. 5 do not have. 6 and 7 both do have a bit location 1 in the second position. So 2, 3, 6, 7. Very similar to that, we also should calculate for the P4. For P4, let us first look into the third position. So let us consider the third position with respect to your P4. So from this point, so do we have the third bit as 1? No. Here we do not have a bit location as, so here you do not have in the third position, you do not have a bit value 1, and even you do not have a, in the third position you do not have a bit value 1, and here yes you do have a bit value 1, so you can consider that as 4, comma 5 do have a bit value. See here at just the third location you have 5 and 6 and 7. So at location number 3, I mean bit number 3 from LSB, you should have the bit value as 1. So now we have identified it. Once we have identified with this, now what we can do is, now let us note down what is the value that exists in the bit location 1, what is the value that exists in bit location 3, 5 and 7. When you take the bit location 1, the value that exists is P1 itself. So let us write it as P1. You can see here the value is P1. And what about 3? The value that what we have is 1. And in 5, what is the value that we have? It is 0. 7, we have the value as 1. So this is what we have: P1, 1, 0 and 1. So this is the value that what we have in 1. 3 has 1, 5 has 0 and 7 as 1. So this is what where you can get it from the table. Now either you can consider an even parity or an odd parity for Hamming code. I will be considering an even parity. Now for an even parity, when I say an even parity, here the number of bits to become an even parity should be, I mean the number of 1 should be equals to, even number of 1 should be present here. If you just look at this, you should have an even number of 1s. So we know that we have only the 1 is the even number of 1s what we have here. So I can replace this P1 as 0 in such a way that you can get your value as 0, 1, 0, 1. So when I say this as 0, 1, 0, 1, that means it still remains in an even parity. What do you mean by an even parity? An even parity is where the number of 1s in the given binary bit should be even. It should be in even number of elements. So number of 1s you have 2. So where 2 is an even number. So this is where you should have a even parity. So when I make P1 as 0, this can become a even parity. So the P1 value can be considered as 0. The P1 value can be considered as 0. So let us take this value here. So you will have another clarity with respect to your P2. Now let us see what is the value that we do have with respect to P2. that is the 2. The 2 is the first one. 2 is your P2 itself. Then what is the value that exists at the third location? It is 1. At sixth location, it is again 1. And at seventh location, it is 1. So here, what should I make to P2 in such a way that this number of bits should be equal to an even parity? So here you have odd number of ones. So you have to make this as an even number of ones so that this becomes an even parity. So now I can make P2 can be made as 1 so that you get the bits as 4 ones, which is an even parity. See, the number of ones that what you have is 4, which is an even number. Therefore your P2 value can become 1. Your P2 value is going to become 1. So this is another stage. So we have calculated the value of your P1 as 0 and calculated the value of your P2 as 1. See, how do you do that? You should replace your P2 in such a way that you make sure that you have an even number of ones here. That means we are considering an even parity. So very similar to that, let us also do it same with respect to P4. So with respect to P4, what am I going to do? Now, what is the value that we have in 4? At bit location 4, the value is P4 itself. And then 5, we have 0. Just look at this. The 5 has 0. And then at 6, we have 1. At 7, we have 1. So here, the number of ones or what we have is 2, which is an even number. So to retain here as an even parity, let us make P4 as 0. So when I make P4 as 0, so you get the number of bits as 0, 0, 1, 1, which is an even parity. Therefore, P4 value is equals to 0. Now we have calculated the value of your P1 and P2 and P4. Let us replace this. I'm going to replace your P1. What is the value of P1 that what we have got? 0. What is the value of your P2 that what we have got? It is 1. The value of your P4, the value of your P4 that what we have obtained is 0. Now, this is where an Hamming code is being generated based on the value parity P equals to 3. So this is how you generate a Hamming code for a reliable transmission. So in the next video, I will be showing you how you can correct the error, how you can identify the error and how you can correct the error in Hamming code. Thank you.